Well, hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Grizzly Bear Sims YouTube channel, and welcome back to Snetterton Farm. This is our 24 Game Day Series challenge map, and this is game day number 16, and this is episode number 14. So, why the disconnect? Why? And it's been this way for just a little while. I'm sure some of you, if you have been watching each episode, you know that I did skip a couple of days, or I worked a couple of days off camera, I should say. So I may still continue to do that. That way, not necessarily sure if I'm going to still bring you anywhere close to the the 96 episodes or whatever this challenge, this 96 game day challenge would bring. Still somewhat undecided on that, but in any event, this is what it is and where we are and all that good kind of stuff. So just going to stop right here just a moment. I just kind of want to go out here and take a look at this this grass and see how it's progressing out here. Quite nicely, I believe. Obviously, this grass, again, if you are just joining the series, these are our two big hay meadows, grass meadows here, and we plowed and basically, prepped this soil just like we did all the other fields in our on our map on our farm, and it's coming along quite nicely. Of course, the verge and everything around here could be cut if we wanted to, but we're okay on grass for right now, grass, hay, etc. And we'll be looking at that task down the road. So lots of grass to cut, because obviously, let me just bring up the map again for the sake of folks that may not have seen the earlier episodes. Fields number 11, which is what this field is, that's our grass hay meadow, and then field number 17. They're almost twin. Well, they could be very, very close to being twin, sort of twin fields as far as size goes. Just sort of at opposite edges of the map, one in the northeast, which is where we are now, and then one in the northwest. So anyway, enough for the geography lesson for today. Hope you all are having a wonderful day. And again, this is episode number 14 of our Snetterton Farm 24 Game Day Series Challenge. And having fun. I certainly didn't mean to alarm or startle anybody. I think with my last episode, where I was kind of talking about the fact that wasn't sure, if I would actually be successful at playing this map out all 96 game days. Of course, it's hard for me to view my crystal ball and to sort of get an idea as to what's going to happen in my life and all that kind of stuff. But right now, I'm geared to definitely play it, and play it we shall. So this is going to be millet that we're going to put in, and to be honest with you folks, I really have no idea what millet is as it relates to the real world, and as it sort of relates to farming and all that kind of stuff. To be quite honest with you, I don't even know if I have ever heard of it beyond Farm Sim 17 stuff. So we will obviously see. Of course, things like we've got sorghum. Triticale was another crop type that I've never heard of before. Maybe you guys have. I have not. Let's see what else is on here that is a bit. Obviously, oats I've heard of. You'd have to have your head buried pretty deep in the sand not to have heard of oats. Sorghum, obviously, I've heard of that. Rye, I've heard of that. Millet and triticale, had never heard of those before. All right, well, we're going to get started here. We are going to turn on our rig here and go ahead and lower her down. And we're going to get started here. We're going to basically just kind of follow behind Billy Bob over there, who is driving the big Kloss with the cultivator on it, and doing a fine job cultivating this field and getting all the rough edges and everything, the roughness of the field itself smoothed out. Don't necessarily have to do that. These seeders will definitely seed directly on top of unprepped and basically unpretty soil. But the wear and tear, obviously we plowed and prepped these fields many days ago, many game days ago, which obviously could actually be quite quite a number of weeks ago as far as the real world goes, because remember, we are playing 24 game day seasons, but in the real world, a season is obviously 90 days. So yeah, so anyway, these fields had been prepped quite a while ago, and they're still a little rough around the edges, and so Billy Bob is just running the cultivator over that just to smooth it out. You know, that cultivator, big steel, heavy, tough apparatus being pulled by obviously a big, massive Kloss tractor. Again, just sort of makes it a little bit easier, minimizes the wear and tear on our seeders and our smaller tractors and stuff like that. So, you know, those are just things that we like to take into consideration on our farm here, because if every penny that we save is, as they say, a penny earned. So that's how we are thinking about that. So hope you guys are enjoying my other series, Thornton Farm. That's kind of my role play series. I'm trying as hard as possible to basically stick to the role play stuff with that map, and not try to get too deep in the weeds or too deep in the mud, as they might say in non-storyline kind of stuff. Although, you know, I sort of view my position, the reason why I YouTube, the reason why I record my episodes, the reason why I spend sometimes just a few minutes, or sometimes maybe over an hour or two editing and sort of perfecting and everything my videos, is to help educate, to help share the love, if you will, to help encourage others, to help you know, sort of maybe teach, mentor, you know. And I'm not by any means, I'm not a professional Farm Sim 17 gamer. I'm not a professional YouTuber. There are so many other more talented people that know more about this than I do. There are some really big names in YouTube that are making a big success with doing YouTube full time. Sometimes these guys their channels are so big that they don't have the opportunity, they don't have the time to answer questions and stuff like that. And so I sort of view my role and what I want my channel to be. And yeah, we've surpassed 100 subscribers, and that made me very, very happy, because it's like it's a, you know, it's not like I'm doing this specifically for the statistics, for the subscribers. In other words, you know, would I still be playing this game without YouTube? You bet. Would I still be producing videos if I didn't have 1,000 subscribers? You bet. Would I still be doing many of the other things that I'm doing, helping, being an admin over at PCSG and Three Dudes Gaming Network and all that kind of stuff? Again, you bet I would do that. You know, would I still, now here's a big question, would I still be giving away copies of the upcoming release of Farm Sim 17 Platinum DLC expansion package if I wasn't doing YouTube? Probably not, to be quite honest with you, because doing YouTube, and I'm not doing this to make money. But doing YouTube and having my channel monetized does allow me to earn a little bit of money, enough to be able to do the giveaways that I do. It's not, again, it's not paying any sort of bills. It's not even, quite honestly, the YouTube stuff, because again, the sort of the giving back and the copies of various games that I've given away or DLC or whatever, doesn't even necessarily go towards securing the future of the channel, with regards to, say, for example, wear and tear on my gaming machine. Because obviously, you know, playing these types of games is tough enough for most of these modern gaming machines that we might all have. Recording video gameplay or live streaming or whatever is just additional processing power that quite honestly is shortening the life of our hardware, of our video cards and our CPUs and all that kind of stuff. But I think really the only thing that would probably change with regards to what I did on a day-to-day basis would probably be the giveaways, if in fact I wasn't doing YouTube any longer. But everything else, you know, is something that I enjoy doing. I really enjoy interacting with people. I really enjoy helping out, answering questions. I even quite enjoy helping others become somewhat successful with YouTube. There's been a number of folks. I'm not going to single out any names or anything like that, but there's been a number of folks that have come on to the scene, onto the YouTube scene, since I have been recording and producing YouTube videos, and I have helped them launch their channels, and I'm, you know, that's something that I take great pride in the fact that I've been successful at sharing a little bit of knowledge. And again, I'm not a professional YouTube broadcaster. I'm not an expert in this. I do somewhat struggle from time to time to kind of understand things and get things configured and get things set up. And I think a lot of it with me is just that I'm so busy in the real world that oftentimes I just don't have the time that maybe I once used to really study and figure some of this out. You know, if I don't play a game for a little while, I tend to kind of forget some of the basics because maybe that knowledge has been replaced with something else that I needed to store in my limited amount of memory in my head. And so that is just the way that it goes. Hang on just one second here. I'm going to put a pause in the video for just a moment. All right back with you. I just went ahead and gave Billy Bob additional instructions on what I wanted him to do, basically proceed cultivating that other field over there. So speaking of YouTube and speaking of things of that nature with regards to the channel and with producing video content and all that kind of stuff here, let me just switch over and hit those two buttons. I am coming up on my 1 year anniversary of really taking things somewhat seriously with YouTube. And I just need to pull up my spreadsheet here. So, and of course, I'm not 100% sure when this particular episode is going to air. I'm still trying to work out my schedule, ladies and gentlemen. And my apologies, because I know for a very long time I somewhat ran things pretty consistent with you know, a specific video on a specific day, and having my sort of my time off or my break days where I'm not pushing content out through YouTube, having those kind of clearly defined. And right now it's just been kind of here, there, and kind of everywhere. I have been trying to maintain at least 3 to 4 videos per week, and I think maybe, you know, I'm kind of averaging somewhere between 4 and 5 on most weeks. But anyway, regardless of all that stuff, we are coming up on a anniversary here on the channel. The 27th of September was the day that I released the very first episode on Farm Sim 15 of Paradise Hills by Stevie. Now, my YouTube channel, if you look at, you know, if you know how to do this kind of stuff, if you go out and look at when the channel actually was created, I'm going to do both of these fields, by the way, in Millet. That way we can just kind of, it'll be a little bit easier for harvesting these two crop types together. So I'm just going to go ahead and do that here. So anyway, the 27th of September is that magical date for me. Now my channel is, like I said, it is older. I think I established my channel, in all honesty, I think it was created in early 2016, and I kind of created it because, yeah, I wanted to do YouTube. I kind of wanted to take my gameplay to the next level. This would have been both farm sim and truck sim and flight sim and all that kind of stuff. And so I created the channel. I played around. I've got some videos that are marked as private. Some stuff that I recorded on Sosnovka, basically the default Sosnovka map. So kind of the creation of my channel occurred around the time frame where the gold expansion pack, I think it was called, for Farm Sim 15 came out. So that's kind of maybe it was a little bit maybe the expansion DLC obviously probably came out before I set up the channel. But anyway, I recorded about 2 or 3 episodes, and maybe one of these days I will release these. Not as any sort of serious sort of storyline or anything, but just maybe just to kind of show a comparison, because I think I have grown as a content creator and producer and everything. I think I've become better at doing what I'm doing. Am I the best? Absolutely not. No way. But have I grown? Yes. And so I created these videos, or I started producing videos, but I never released them because I didn't like them. I really found it hard to decide what I was going to talk about. I may have actually even started off doing a role play and then sort of figured out, wow, I just can't, I'm having a struggle maintaining that role play over the course of 30 minutes or an hour or whatever in consecutive videos. And I still struggle with that today. It's a very difficult thing for me to do. It's much easier for me to talk to you guys about just stuff, about either stuff that's going on in my life or stuff that's going on in the game life, within Farm Sim 17 itself, etc. Or talk about, cattle and crops, which I've done for hours and hours and hours back in the spring of this year in anticipation of it coming out. But anyway, maybe one of these days I will release those episodes just as a sort of, this is where I kind of started, but I didn't have the confidence to even release these. So I did some things on YouTube between this time frame of Sosnovka that I've sort of kept these videos hidden and private up until September the 27th. I was doing things like multiplayer trucking ATS and ETS2, and just sort of live streaming my gameplay on Twitch and YouTube as sort of a mechanism of reporting trolls and stuff, guys that basically their primary goal in their life is to disrupt and cause other people havoc and frustration and everything. And so I would run this dash cam video, that's kind of what I called it, and I had some templates, some text on the screen and everything, and even had a real life clock so that I could basically sync up the incident and be able to report that, and then turn the Truckers MP admins onto this. And I think maybe I had 7 or 8 successful reports that actually ended up, getting people suspended. I wasn't doing things intentionally. I was literally reporting the bad stuff and really trying to help out the community altogether, because that's not fun. Anyone that comes in that their primary purpose is to disrupt someone else's gameplay, well, that's sort of bad news. So anyway, that's kind of what the channel was used for. And then I recorded some, I think where I really got my confidence with doing videos on YouTube was when I did a 4 or 5 part series on the soil mod for Farm Sim 15. It was sort of a how-to, if you will, how-to on using the soil mod, and some secrets, and not necessarily secrets, but some tips on how to get the best out of it and all this kind of stuff. And then I guess at some point in time in September of last year, September of 2016, I sort of made the decision that hang on just one second. Let me radio to Billy Bob and tell him to go ahead and move that thing out of the way. Bear with me. All right. So anyway, it was that September time frame. I had produced successful soil mod videos, and I had done a couple of other how-tos. I think I did one on how to get your, yeah, I know exactly which one it was. It was how to get your Logitech joystick, the wonderful, I can't think of the name of it right now. It's setting a little bit too far away. I don't have it configured since I'm not doing any logging right now. Anyway, sort of how to get that working with FarmSim 15, because obviously I've talked about this a lot too, how that FarmSim 15 is, and even 17 is still lacking control, good control configuration and good control setup. Anyway, these videos were quite successful. They racked up hundreds, maybe thousands of views by this point in time, and I was able to really help a lot of people get their joysticks set up, get their wheels set up, all that kind of, get both of them set up at the same time. That was always a struggle. And so I decided, okay, well, I want to give this, doing a series a shot again. I had been following with much enjoyment guys like Reefy 1952. Did not yet know Eustace Farmer at this particular point in time, and but I knew a few others. I knew Shawnee B. I knew I've watched the Bipolar Prophet, some of those others that I had sort of discovered through Mike, and I decided, let me give this thing a try, and so I did. And so Paradise Hills was the first FarmSim Let's Play series that I did. I forget how many number of episodes was created out of that map, and I basically played that up to the point, basically finishing out that series the day before FarmSim 17 came out. And basically, when I say, folks, that the day before FarmSim 17 came out was the last time I played, was the last time I launched FarmSim 15, I absolutely mean it, because literally I recorded the last episode of Paradise Hills the day before FarmSim 17 came out, and then I got that video content edited, uploaded, and all that kind of stuff. I came home, I think it was a Monday evening when 17 came out for us here in the US, sort of after midnight UTC, and then so I was able to watch, or I was able to play, and I started, fooled around a little bit to figure out some of the key differences between 17 and 15, obviously, and so then I started playing that map. Well, so those first episodes aired on the 27th of September, and then obviously FarmSim 17 came out in late of October, right before Halloween. So let's take a look at what we're going to do here. I think we need to turn that off to be able to do that. So sorghum, I tell you what, I'll make a decision as to what we're going to plant here next. And let's see, we've got about maybe 10 more minutes of stuff that we can do here for this episode. I'm just going to kind of run up the hill here. I should have probably just left this tractor up here. But anyway, the 27th of September is sort of a milestone for the Grizzly Bear Sims YouTube channel. Since the 27th of September, I have fairly consistently pushed out 3 to 4 to 5, sometimes more videos per week, and have been fully engaged both with the channel, with the comments, with my interactions with both PCSG and then the Three Dudes Gaming Network, and very appreciative of the fact that in that course of time, basically from the 27th of September up to the present time, I have further met incredible people that I call very dear friends, and have had so many cool, awesome opportunities to do things that sort of help with my goals as far as my channel, my interaction with fellow simulation enthusiasts through my blog site. My blog site, grizzlybearsims.com, that goes back like almost 12 years. Now, for the most part, that content is has been simulate or has been flight sim related. For the most part, it's been flight sim related. But you know, over since probably the last 2 years or 3 years, there's been kind of a mixture of ATS, ETS2, Farm Sim 15, Farm Sim 17 stuff on there. So anyway, let's. I was going to maybe just kind of start the process of spraying with our self-propelled sprayer if I can find it. I think should have put it right back where we always park it, and we do. So that's that. So let's go ahead and get out and go over here, and then I need to give you guys the word of the day. So the word of the day. So anyway, before I do that, I do just want to say thank you to all of those who have been watching my new Let's Play series over on Thornton Farm. Thornton Farm obviously is by the incredibly talented Oxygen David. And let's see, which one of these is liquid fertilizer? Is it this one? Yeah, it is. So Oxygen David, Thornton Farm, for those of you who are in the know, will know that Thornton Farm was originally released for Farm Sim 15, or at least that's what I've been told. I do not remember Thornton Farm in the Farm Sim 15 days. I think as soon as I discovered Coleborough Park Farm, and then obviously, you know, sort of got my fix on or discovering Stevie and the wonderful maps that he did for Farm Sim 15. I think that that is pretty much kind of all that I ever was really interested in. All right, we'll go back over here to field 6 and 7 and such as that. So anyway, that was kind of that, and I kind of forget where I was kind of going with that discussion stuff. But regardless, I have really enjoyed putting the channel out for you. And oh, I know, Thornton Farm. So Thornton Farm, I did not know about it for Farm Sim 15, but when it was released for Farm Sim 17 back in April, I basically discovered it, and I don't know if I knew at that time if it was a 15 remake or whatever. I might have, but again, I went, wow, this is a great map. But it sort of went into the back burner, if you will, back of my hard drive kind of thing. I was doing other projects, and just wasn't really at that particular point in time, just wasn't really having the time to be able to start a new map, to be able to start a map like that. I might have still been doing Coleborough Park Farm before it kind of broke. And so anyway, I pushed it kind of to the back of my hard drive, and when I finished up Mountain Valley Farm, I sort of realized that, okay, I wanted to replace Mountain Valley Farm. I typically, within my rotation of videos, and this is not accepting fertilizer, is it? Okay, so we can't do that just yet. My bad, my apologies. All right. Well, I think we are getting close to 30 minutes. I was going to spend a little bit of time just kind of finishing up my thoughts on this, and then basically let you guys see. But now it has started raining, and so that is fine. It can rain. We will go do other things, but I'm going to spend some time off camera. And I think we're going to maybe do another field or two, seed another field after the rain, perhaps for this game day. But anyway, let me just quickly finish Thornton Farm discussion. Thornton Farm was the map that, you know, I was looking at. I was impressed with it back in the April time frame. I know that it's been out there on YouTube, countless hours, hundreds, thousands of hours of YouTube videos have been recorded regarding Thornton Farm out there by some of the big names in YouTube. Me, again, I don't do it for competition. I personally don't believe that there's any competition at all in the land of YouTube. I know that I am probably the only, I may be not the only one that believes that, and I know that some of these really big names in YouTube probably don't agree with me because as hard as I guess because they're doing it full time, they might view that there is competition. I don't know, but anyway, a lot of people did it. I've not yet had a chance to play it. That's why I'm playing it. Bottom line, the word of the day today is the word Thornton Farm. Thornton Farm is the word of the day for this episode number 14 of Snetterton Farm. And I'm having a ball playing it, quite honestly. It's a beautiful map. I like to have a British style map and I like to have an American style map. I think I do okay for me at managing two maps per, at the same time. And I like having a British style because I like the challenges of, what the British style type maps bring to the table. And then I also like the big American style maps where we can do, square fields and big equipment and, all that kind of stuff. Anyway, thank you all so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. Again, the word of the day for episode number 14 is Thornton Farm. Thank you all so much for continuing to come to the channel, watch my videos. Leave comments. The concerns that you guys have expressed for my wife and everything over the last several months has just been extraordinary. She's doing well, by the way. As a matter of fact, very soon we're going to go on vacation for a week back in the mountains, back up to the cabin that we rented back in the 4th of July, and also we were also there back last October of last year, 2016. That was when I hit the big 5-0. So we're going back up for my big 5-1 birthday week and hopefully see some elk and some moose and deer and a lot of other wildlife and everything up there. And just basically, I want to sit by the river. I may have to do it in a jacket, but I want to sit by the river and just listen to the water rush by and not worry about work, not worry about doing anything else other than just maybe reading a book, keeping up with some comments and everything on YouTube maybe once a day, and just really relaxing and recharging my batteries, if you will. So anyway, thank you all so much for watching. I do appreciate it, and I hope that you will come back again very soon. Take good care of yourselves and each other. God bless you all. Take care. Bye-bye.